Hello everybody, welcome to the first GRS F1 race of Season 4. If you've been joining us so far this week, you'll know that we've done 2 Abu Dhabi races already, and this is the third and final one of the week. I'm joined by Mr. Lapage himself, the one and only.
Good evening.
We'll see just how much quicker the pointy end of GRS is as someone's left.
Oh, like significantly, probably.
Who left?
They tend to be.
George.
No, we're still on 19. George is back in. Johnny has now chosen his car.
There we go. Lovely stuff. But yeah, everyone should be readying up in just a second, and then we'll be able to get underway and see both the F3 and the F2 pole tie and get smashed on a banker lap, I reckon.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. And that was with the incredibly competitive.
Just to link the stream in the Discord, and then I'll be tabbed in and around.
Beautiful. I just had to double check that we were live there for a second, but we're all good. We are good to go. So I've just been congratulated on admin. Oh, isn't that nice? Righty-ho. So we've got a 19 car grid. I don't think we've got a 20th driver joining us. It's going to be a very tasty F1 track. For anyone who watched the stream yesterday, I know I'm absolutely fantastic around Abu Dhabi, so I will be a naturally harsh critic of any mistakes.
Emphasis on the round Abu Dhabi.
There you go. I think Sector 2 I didn't spin. Everywhere else I span multiple
yes,
times.
The place with one corner.
2. She count the other half of the chicane.
No.
Oh.
No, unfortunately we've had a disconnect, so
Contraction zone. Oh my god, I'm looking at the random spectators and their tremendously flat faces. Voldemort has joined the lobby.
No, not good.
It's not good. And I turned the settings down just so I can make sure that frame rate and everything is lovely and stable. Minimise my stream so I can get the chat. Mitch
more stable than a polarized horse.
Yeah, it's more stable than my setup yesterday. My
I thought we were trying to clear a high bar here.
Yeah, we're good. I haven't done this in a few weeks. I'm a bit rusty. We have cars out on track. I think Luke is ahead of everyone else. Luke is heading the field. Lovely stuff. Let's get the telemetry on. So see what these guys can do. I'm expecting immediately mid-23s? Mid to high 23s.
Oh, I think someone's doing a 22 banker.
A 22 banker, right, okay. So we got our guesses in.
Everyone on softs at the moment.
Singular McLaren.
getting their banker on the medium tyres. So is it going to be our glorious leader for the first lap? It is.
It is indeed, yeah. Everyone on soft so far.
Now Will continuing his disconnects that he had suffered with last season. Let's see how Luke handles this Abu Dhabi circuit. Doesn't take the fully wide line to start his lap, but gets a pretty good
Whoa! Look at the Haas behind.
Finish line.
It's a Potter.
Ooh, bit of a slide there. Luke straddling that curb between turn 1 and 2. Best way to carry the maximum amount of speed. Just keeps it nice and safe through 2 and 3. Nothing too crazy. We saw plenty of guys spinning there yesterday. Luke doesn't want to join them. And then down to the, I believe someone dubbed this the Max Verstappen corner, which is bound to trigger some people. As Luke navigates the hairpin nicely and gets the DRS open for the first of 2 zones here at Yas Marina. And now it's all about just spotting your braking into the tight chicane. Down to 3rd gear. Takes a nice little bit of curb on the inside of both apex. So it chooses not to use the U-spot line and run the left tyres out onto the AstroTurf. DRS open again, keeps it nice and tight, but make sure he gives a little bit of breathing room to that wall. There is a submarine section of the track that will send you underneath it. And then gets nicely into the apex for turn 9. And it's just about waiting and planning the power as soon as possible. Then the triple right-hander here through to turn 12, nicely through there, and then under the hotel. All off camber this part. It's just about keeping the throttle balance, not doing a Latifi and putting it in a wall. Manages it nicely, flat through the second last corner of 15. And then understeers nicely to the apex for 15, and that's a 29 for the first lap.
Not too shabby.
It looked nice, but Irons just demolished it with a 23-1 behind.
Quill's doing their signature several out laps with no battery into push. 24-1 from Hugo. Alright, well this is a field spread if I've ever seen one. Aston Martin next to the line.
Blame Quill.
Bauschke.
Blame Quill and Iron, actually.
Yep.
So we are just continuing last season then, by the looks.
Oh, 100%. So
blaming Quill and Iron.
Teammate. So Chevalier starting at that patch. The lines is 23-2. Iron has not been given much breathing room at the top there.
Just 10.
Hesh stating his claim of intentions of a strong season opener. Fraser Hart and Haas doing a 25-1. Dino with a 24-4. Theo Smith and Alpha Tauri does a 23-9.
Yeah, maybe a little more to find there for Lucas and Fraser, both in the 25s. Might be looking for at least another second or so on their laps. Maybe some small mistakes.
Lucas Rudd, former F3 champion of last season. As I see the most glitchy Alfa Romeo that I've ever seen. Just there and then it wasn't. Lucas Rudd making a step to Formula 1. Unfortunately, the back end stepping out. Speaking of steps, that is not one you'll want to make.
You said there and then it wasn't, and Lucas's traction went, I know how to do that. So it's going to be a second failed lap, I think, for Lucas.
Coach is just starting an out lap now. Par's doing some tyre warmings. It's Johnny to the line. Only P7, 24-3. There might have been a minor mistake in that lap.
Johnny is on a pad at the moment, though. His wheel is
of course he
currently
is.
Located in France, getting repaired. So Johnny, being in Norway, doesn't quite have arms that long. And we've got a second Mercedes now jumping up there, which is going to be Justin putting it P3 with a 23.6. So a few tenths off his teammate, but
let's see,
it's still good enough for P3 provisionally. So though I think we're going to see those times coming down quite a lot. I know Iron has a
smash that.
Yeah, I know Iron has a 22.3 in time trial. So
George,
just George things.
Surprised he got that far. I'm assuming he spun out the hairpin, got on the curbs all weird, but his car was a decent way down the straight by the time it decided to be backwards.
Probably doing everything possible to try and catch it. Doesn't really want to bail a lap.
Johnny getting out of the way. Doesn't want to give everyone a tow. Lucas Rudd coming to the line now, I believe, is invalidated, of course. So he'll be starting off, but he's probably about the only one pushing at the moment.
Yeah. Lucas went straight on at the chicane, so.
Choosing to take this in 5th just to make sure he doesn't spin out like he did last lap. See how he is. Tiny lift. Just wants to get a banker time in on the now scrub set of soft tyres. Coming down to turn number 4, the hairpin. Just want to pinch the white line. Keep the minimum speed up as high as you can. Got a Red Bull weaving out in front. I believe that's Hugo. Still got plenty of time before he needs to consider getting out of the way. That was Lucas into the hairpin.
Oh, and we've got our first victim of turn 3. Which is unfortunately going to be one of the Haas drivers.
It's a Haas again.
One of our brothers making their debut in GRS.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, a lot can happen in Abu Dhabi though, so starting out back's not the worst. George's done it again.
George is doing it again.
No, he's got the stream on. He wanted to show me how he did it last time. So thank you very
we
much. Thanks for the
did see,
information.
we did see yesterday Sky McGurk, another debutant, managing to take the victory despite being 10th, 3 laps from the end. So being at the back of the grid is not necessarily the worst thing.
The penultimate corner. Gets squirrely on the exit, the final corner as well. P14. Plenty of time for Lucas to find though. So that is always reassuring. So
Always
people yet to settle
plenty of places to find that little bit of time that you need as the track ramps up in quali. I think a lot of these guys are going to be lifting through 2 and 3 at the moment, as it is a little sketch to take it flat out while the track isn't quite rubbered in. Even on quali fuel and tyres. Quill having a bit of a moment out of 5, which is unlike them. Quill normally very, very solid.
Can happen even to the best.
I know, I mean, I crashed in the pit lane, so...
You did. I took a print screen of the tyre.
Yeah. Luke was like, unsure what had happened.
I think he'd asked me post-race, or ask one of us post-race for confirmation, because it was... Because your car teleported out onto the track.
It does that, yeah.
Which is always fun. Is this Dino coming through the final 2 corners? It is indeed. So he will now be starting his next push lap. I'm sure we got other people. Alfa Romeos are finally out. Thank goodness. Beginning to worry about them.
Oh, Quentin's had a bit of a spin and picked up some front wing damage, so won't be improving on that P2 at the moment.
Yeah, it's never ideal.
We'll be boxing for a new wing for the Mercedes driver. So it is the first pit box down there, so it doesn't have to go too far on the damaged car.
Purple sector 1 for Dino.
I think Dino has taken any idea of lifting and thrown it unceremoniously out of the nearest window.
Well, he's got the banker now, so he can push like hell. And the track does rubber in nicely. There's a lot of awkward traction zones and off-camber areas. Choosing not to take the tight line.
There's also quite an interesting one in terms of the time of day. Because you do quali fully at night. As you can see, the sun has completely set in Abu Dhabi. But the race starts at dusk. So the first 10 laps or so are in fading daylight, and then it really starts to get dark. As we've had Bayo Bello have a crash at turn 3 as well.
Oh no.
So just catching people out there, just as it did yesterday.
There's a nasty corner.
It's not quite a graveyard like we saw yesterday yet, but it's getting there. Puts it P4 with a 23.8. Nice lap from the Croatian driver.
Very nice. I mean, I spun in the race there yesterday and got, let's say, no further rear wing damage because it was already maxed out. So technically, no damage from that spin. Yeah, yeah. That's how you do it. If you don't want to get damaged, just damage it prior to that corner and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I also spun through turn 2 and nearly gave a heart attack to one of our Ferrari drivers as he was exiting the pits. I was just sat on pit exit facing the wrong way, like, oh, hi, Lewis.
Wasn't there a pit lane POV of Leclerc going wide when someone was coming out after he had his wobble a few years ago?
Sounds like a shell thing to do.
Ferrari shoot across the pit exit. Oh, just trying to get Purple Man, but he's shot up to P14 ahead of Lucas Rudd.
Nice, and his teammate right behind, Lucas Bauschka, jumps up to P7.
Very tidy.
Into the 23s, and he's beaten by 1,000th of a second by Luke Mills, by the way.
Whew.
So nice and tight there.
I thought George was finishing a lap in the Ferrari, but he's starting one. Speaking of starting a lap, Ian Bilbas. Let's stay on board with him.
If Ian can find any time here that might put him a little out of reach.
Actually, I think he just finished. He was 18 thousandths off his personal best, set a purple sector 3.
Oh, terrible. Washed. But yeah, we've also got another driver turning up at the front as well.
Oh, Ferrari toe! The Ferrari strategy!
Ooh, big toe. Yeah, we've got another driver turned up at the front as well, which is Thomas Grad's done a 23.2 for the Alfa Romeo team.
Beautifully done by the Ferrari boys. Both with the turquoisey yellow helmets, so that's not going to be confusing at all.
Yeah, I was waiting for George to miss his breaking point there into the chicane, just so we can have a POV of Iron raging out.
I thought Iron was just going to go straight on. Park it up like Kimmy did on his final race.
Go to the airport.
So, yeah, I'm done. No marina, so we'll have to. Airport bar will have to do. So you've got Par now coming through to the twisty, tight hotel section. I hope this hotel overlook. They need to glass floor it, I think.
Oh, that would be so good. That might make me actually want to go.
Yeah, same. Let's see what George can do.
George
It's quite a nice lap, to be fair.
24
And only goes P12. I'm not a harsh critic.
Just behind Hugo.
Looks enough push.
Yeah, it seemed nice and clean, but remember George didn't have a time on the board, so just needs to make sure he got that lap in.
Quentin Hesh going through turn number 1. Let's see what we can do. A slight lift through 2.
I think Quentin may have already done his lap, yeah. Quentin's already finished a lap because he has dropped into those 23 ones.
But they drive faster than me on a cooldown lap.
Just 700ths off of Iron. Probably just testing some of the grip through turns 2 and 3.
I think it
to
just
see
leaves Lucas
what they can do on
one.
their final lap.
Lucas must be finding time in his lap. Unless he's had
Half
another...
a second up at the end of Sector 2. But let's see what time there is here in Sector 3. He's currently 2.4 off pole, so should be a decent chunking there. Yeah, finds another half a second and goes just a tenth off his teammate.
Christ, imagine improving by an entire second and only going to P15.
Okay, I gained 2 places. Yay! Yeah.
Hop on board with Iron's, well, formerly Iron's teammate. He's now been booped out of Ferrari to Alfa Romeo. See what.
Yeah, our last man to that's still in the session that is yet to set a time. So.
Have the potential to.
Martin will be hoping for a similar sort of quality performance to last season because his qualifying did tend to be very, very good.
It's just the race
but there was just the mistakes just creeping in through the races, and with a grid that is pretty tight, really, you make one small mistake fairly early on, lap 2, lap 3, and you're at the back, and it's difficult to catch anybody because they're all just going to sit in a DRS train.
It's a shame because he's a quick driver, but he does have the potential to get more points in the season opener than he did in Season 3.
If Martin wins, Iron will immediately be firing George and trying to get him back.
Maybe it's just a Ferrari thing. It's like the stipulated second seat.
It's like real life, yeah. It's just a Ferrari thing.
It's not a Red Bull, it's now Ferrari second seat.
The plan is nothing ever goes to plan.
Yeah, the plan is always correct.
We are on plan F for fucked it.
I've become a bit of a Ferrari fan as of late. I think it's just because McLaren are clearly on the backwards form.
I did not realise you were a fan of sadism.
No, so if I ever go to Italy, I have a hat, and they'll love me. That's all it is. So Vanov looked like he went off track there, getting every thousandth he could. That was very, very tight.
Yeah, I guess track limits doesn't exist in Turn 8.
Coates has been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location.
Where was he?
I
wonder if he spun exit in the pits, and he kind of does that.
Yeah, perhaps, yeah. Or was ISP is having a go at him for trying to connect to a multiplayer lobby.
Imagine the audacity
of
trying to use the internet.
Vanov's had a very nice lap here, has to be said.
Very
nice and smooth.
karma collector, nothing crazy, but a 23-4, good lap.
Jesus.
Jumps out Luke.
Speaking of Luke.
Yeah, I mean it was one of those that didn't look particularly fast, but obviously was.
Just smooth, yeah. It's half the trouble I have when I'm trying to improve. I look at somebody else's lap and I'm just thinking, don't I do that? But they're just so smooth and the minimum speed is just maintained so well. Alright, well, most of these guys are heading for their final push lap, so we'll hop on board with Luke, he's at the front of the train. See what he can do, hoping to improve. Would like to see himself get up.
Quill's appeared at the front out of absolutely fucking nowhere with a 23.4 as well.
Right. As Grad does a 23-0, so strikes first.
Still not in the 22s, which is surprising.
Iron's
That is
on
going
track.
to be Alfa Romeo currently 1st and 6th on the grid.
Very nice.
Looking a strong pairing alongside Mercedes, who are currently occupying the 2nd row.
Coates' ISP has in fact had a go at him. As he's left the session, unfortunately.
Well, he's been getting back in the whole way through quali, so he shouldn't have any problems with that side of things.
Yeah, at least he knows who to rejoin from.
Seeing him, Luke to the line, 23.3, splits the Mercedes.
See what Iron can do. He's got Williams in front of him.
Good lap there.
Might be Johnny. 22.7.
22.7. No, if it's a Williams, that'll be Lucas. I wonder if Lucas is on a lap. No, he had invalidated one. He was just starting a new one. So Lucas missed the line as well, which is going to be unfortunate. But if he wasn't on a flying lap, it was going to be an AI-controlled car, so nothing that he could do about that.
Very true.
Johnny and Hugo have finished, stay P9 and P12.
Purple Man deciding back of the grid don't seem too bad. Not really had a choice. He had invalidated.
It's a safer way through turn 1, let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
As Justin's invalidated and bailing to the pits as well. So next to the line is going to be George.
Let's see what George can do.
Half a tenth up out of sector 2, but he needs to find another 10th and a half at least to go up on the grid.
Half a second, alright, never mind.
Huge chunk in the final sector, jumps to P9. Great lap for the Ferrari.
2 Ferraris in the top 10. Let's just see that through on the Sunday. And with their home dry. At least that's what Iron will be hoping.
They've got 2 Mercedes to deal with. They were 3rd and 5th.
Yeah, those Mercedes do look punchy, and wow, it's 5 different constructors in the top 6.
Yeah, good luck by Luke at the end, managing to split the difference between the Mercs.
Oh, this will be fun. This will be fun. I'm expecting a slightly fragmented DRS train in the form of the occasional whoopsie splitting the pack up. Expecting a couple of people to lose the back end, especially as
this is entirely dependent on everyone getting through turn 1 in one piece.
It's F1. You'd like to think so. You'd like to think so.
You'd like
Here's
to
your
hope
top.
so.
Here's your grid order.
No.
There's the guys below the guys at the top of the grid order. Bosh.
Let me grab my controller, because doing this with my keyboard is a pain in the neck.
I'll do this as a season opening courtesy to anyone who is watching the stream. Don't forget to turn your tyre pressures down if you turned them up for qualifying.
No, turn them more up. All the way up.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant, other up. We've got the T-posing mechanics! The conjoined triplets!
That's how the pit stops are so fast, they just have a psychic link.
Well, the good news is the people in the grandstand have gained noses.
Hey.
And softer facial edges. As there's about 4 or 5 default sprites and that's it.
I am a little disappointed that races hit like Abu Dhabi, Jeddah, Bahrain. There is nobody in Islamic dress in the crowd. That would have been a simple thing they could do, which I think would have definitely improved the immersion factor.
And they've got 2, from what I can see, 2 different female base models in the crowd as well. But when the teams celebrate, there's just that one default Karen-looking woman with black hair. Get these gals in.
Default Karen. The worst
default
kind of
Karen. Oh, this looks nice. We are on the grid with the lights
coming on. That is 5 red lights. And we are lights out and away for GRS F1 Season 4. A good start from Thomas Graden. He's going to be looking to challenge Iron into turn 1. Gets down the inside, but Iron manages to hang a bit more speed. There is contact there. Quentin goes off the track behind them, keeping P3 in the Mercedes for now. This front 5 already building a little bit of a gap over Quill in the Williams. And we're going to be side by side, 2nd and 3rd on the run down to...
He's making a move on the outside of Grad.
That's a good
Lots of side by side. Grad gets the wobble. Everyone looking clean at the moment.
Getting through Sector 1 nice and clean, and we're just all going to tuck into a little bobsleigh down this first back straight. Justin looking for a move on Luke, possibly into the chicane. A little later on the brakes, and he's going to get the Mercedes there in time for the apex
on
down
the inside.
on the inside.
Got a wobble again. It's going to put him under pressure from Grad. I'd imagine Grad's already through. You've got everyone behind. Looking to make moves. Luke Mills on the outside of Chevalier, just behind Quentin Hesch. Can he keep it pinned around the outside? Always tricky to keep it going. Oh, keeping it going. Speaking of keeping it going, he's kept it going, but he went off track. He's lost.
That's a big moment for Quentin, dropped him all the way to P7 behind Martin Ivanov.
How's he kept that?
Got a chance to recover from it. There's a Red Bull off the track in the back. That's Johnny, who's having an argument with his controller and has spun at Latifi corner.
Red Bull's
Hugo's
last and second last. No, he's not.
Well done, Hugo.
No, he isn't.
Iron leads us around lap 1. So running order currently, Iron Bilbas leads Thomas Grad, Justin Chevalier, Luke Mills, Quil Pavlakovic, Martin Ivanov, Quentin Hesch drops down to P7. George Power finds a place up to P8. Dino Pushkadir makes up 2 places for P9, and Theo Smith rounding out the top 10 currently. And all these guys, there isn't a gap bigger than half a second.
Oh, look at the switchback from Ivanov. Oh, I think Hesch has sent it.
Gone French.
It's just sweet switchback. Very nice.
Under pressure, George is looking for a move down the inside into the chicane. He's going to be to the apex first.
I think George is actually running that low downforce setup. A Ferrari.
He doesn't manage to keep the car there, and he's going to come under pressure from the Alpine of Dino Pushkadir behind. Can Dino find a way round into turn 9?
He's going to get the move done here. He might be eyeing up George.
There's no way he can get George, but he can swing around the outside on those medium tyres. They're just going to give him superior grip around the outside, and there's a spin. That's Martin Ivanov gone round.
He's mentioned the early race mistakes.
There could be some rear wing damage there for the Alfa Romeo as well.
I'm getting a sense of deja vu.
What is it with Alfa Romeos and rear wings, man?
It looks fairly controlled.
We have a cost cap. You're not going to be able to afford any more. Some more yellow flags, and that's
front wing damage.
Back. Oh, Johnny. Yeah, only Johnny with front wing damage. Yeah, according to my telemetry app, saying nothing of it. Martin did manage to escape that with no damage. It's not flagging up saying he has rear wing damage of any kind, so...
Oh, Mercedes offers Quentin Hesch!
Oh dear.
Oh, that's a complete front wing loss there from the Mercedes. He's waiting for everyone to get past before he rejoins the track.
That's nice to see.
Being not selfish.
P18, he's going to be a
that's
hopeful...
harsh one as the Red Bull gets the wing change
for a safety car. We have seen safety cars in both F3 and F2.
Coates ISP has
out of the question.
Bounced the payment request back. It's Iron and Grad just leaving everyone behind in their wake at the moment.
Yeah, Justin's dropped that DRS, and that's going to put
Luke
him
on the back of Chevalier
mega pressure from Luke.
Luke wisely choosing not to send it. Doesn't want to lose time here.
Yeah, Luke didn't even
open
the
DRS. There's a smart driver under the
the
cockpit.
second half of that straight.
Yeah, he's got that more battery as well. He's got about a 35% advantage on the Mercedes driver. So it goes a bit wide here into the technical, twisty, horrible section.
I think Luke's just trying to kind of line him up a little bit if possible. If he can get Justin offline here, this is going to be an easy pass to make. And Justin's gone wide through turn 15.
Really struggling in that Mercedes. I'm not sure if there's any minor front wing damage. The tyres look fine.
Pressures, possibly.
Temps are all in the 95, 94 area. Should be okay in George Russell's car. So I like the individually defined little fins on the front.
Nice, isn't it? The way you can tell who's who when you're on board.
It is very nice.
It's a nice touch.
2.5 seconds to the leader's 2.
Yeah, it's a huge Alfa
gap Romeo
Luke's now
round.
going to close up.
God, it is deja vu.
Quill's still hanging in there, P5. Hanging on to the back of these guys. Dino and George just about in the DRS as well.
Grad is very good under brakes. It's a bit of a compromised run out of the chicane.
DRS is going to close that back up nicely for the Alfa Romeo driver. If both these two can keep it clean for this race, it's going to come entirely down to strategy possibly the difference in tyre wear between Thomas's wheel and Iron's control.
Really struggling, it looks like setup. Might be running a more aggressive quality setup, perhaps. He's gone deep again. He's completely gone off the track here. He'll have to be careful on the re-entry.
A lot of under rotation on the tyres.
Quill
very
to
close to locking up. Very close to locking up.
Strange.
Just get out
the
with
pressures
the
are
brake
fine. Something not quite right. He's going to the pits.
Going
Might
in.
be retirement here if there is irreparable damage.
There could be something wrong with his peripherals. Maybe the pedals just aren't playing.
Yeah, maybe.
Unfortunately, that is going to be a retirement from the Mercedes. But that is going to promote Dino up to P5. Started 11th on the grid, so has had a great few opening laps, staying out of trouble and picking people off when they make mistakes. And is still going to be in that DRS range of the Williams ahead of Quill.
One thing I haven't brought any attention to is Purple Man and Aston Martin, who I believe qualified P17, on the softs up to P12, trying to get Potter out of his DRS range and attack Lucas Rudd, who's only a couple of seconds up the road from him.
Yeah, taking that alternate strategy can pay off, especially if there had been an early safety car. So we're going to have yellow flags in Sector 1.
Oh, Dino!
Mercedes making his way out.
A couple of places here for that twitch on the chicane exit. It's Theo Smith family inside
ever
here.
the opportunist in the AlphaTauri. Makes that move. Gives
Very,
Dino plenty
very
of
good
room on the
driver,
outside. Dino's not stupid enough to try and hang that around the outside. Just slots back into position. Theo gets a bit of a twitch on the exit of 9 though, and might have to go defensive here.
Dino braking a bit early just to make sure he doesn't hit the back of the AlphaTauri. He's right on him on the medium compounded tyres. As it's deja vu in Sector 3.
Yeah, can we not have 3 wide in Sector 3, please? That will give me PTSD. His Quill sets the fastest lap, taking off after Luke, trying to get into his DRS range. Has just about managed to bridge that.
They've still got a decent amount of
can
battery
they
as well.
stay
A little bit less on
for
Luke.
Sector 1?
Front two
Yeah,
still
very
slightly
good run
edging out
through.
in terms of pace, but it's not by much. Top 6
Brad's
all on
almost
hard
out of
tyres.
the DRS range of Iron. If he doesn't get a great chicane here, he could be out of the rear wing opening, and that's gonna allow Luke to just close it up.
Look at the battery difference. So Grad has really been trying to stick with Iron, but it won't be a permanent fix. It's nearly out of battery in these early stages, and he doesn't quite get the same sort of exit as Iron.
When in showing the pace that he does have in that car, sets the fastest lap though, has already made that pit stop for the front wing damage. So is going to be reliant on a safety car here. There's no way you're taking mediums 24 laps down here. Trust me, I've tried.
Which suggested that
About 17 tops. As we do see a move for P8, the Alpine of Bayode Bello making a move on Lucas Bauschka.
Well, it's going to be an interesting fight behind George Carr here. Look
Alpine 7-8. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Lucas
the helicam
a
saw
little
that.
late. And then Bello comes back on the track a little dangerously. Lucas basically had to slam on, as Fraser's now going to be on the back of the Aston Martin. Although it has deployed all of his battery to make up some places and make sure he keeps the DRS here.
Bayode is now outside of Dino's DRS after that as well. So
and I think there's been some carnage going on at the back, because Hugo's made his way up to P13 ahead of the Aston Martin of Ryan
He's out of
Potter.
battery already.
Yeah, I think Fraser's just been spending quite a lot to try and stick with the DRS of the guys in front.
And the man that is purple is trying to get within Hugo's DRS as well.
Needs to use
what
is left of the life of those tyres.
I think they're gone.
Well, you can get like 10 laps out of them. There's a little bit hanging around. A little bit of rubber you can probably find if you
Hugo's
look
in a
hard
rocket
enough.
ship. That's without deploying the battery.
It is DRS though, and DRS is pretty good.
Fraser is running with minimal battery remaining, so the engine will be in a harvesting mode to get a good exit. Make a nice camera angle, please.
Yeah, going to be some DRS here for the Haas driver.
Hugo's in a rocket ship. He's
over
deploying.
Hugo deployed a fair bit down there. He was like, absolutely not, I'm not getting stuck behind you for Sector 3. Hugo feeling he has more pace than the Haas. We're maybe 2 or 3 laps away from the tyre crossover, mediums to hards. As Hugo goes deep. Oh, that's going to invite Fraser. Sorry, not Fraser.
Space has been given. Hugo takes the line down
around the outside.
Oh, they've lost like a second.
It's a nice move around the hotel section, though, making the move on the Red Bull. Now,
Track
that runs a
limit
little
warning.
wide through 15. That is a planned pit stop for Ryan Potter in the Aston Martin. That's going to be getting off those soft tyres.
Hugo,
Could be
if
hard
you...
to the end, possibly,
No?
from here.
I was going to say, if Hugo takes a certain line we saw yesterday, he'd be back ahead of the Haas.
Yeah, we'll have none of that, please.
Looking at Bauschka at the moment, very, very close to the back of
Hugo
Bayard.
is in Verstappen's car and is a Max fan, but chooses not to send it in turn 5. Instead, opting to take some DRS. As
Speaking of sending it, I think Bauschka is
15%
about
of his
to...
battery in sector 3.
Down the inside of Bayard. No contact, keeping it clean. Space being given. Bauschka with the better exit. Bayard gets a twitch.
Nice little cutback, and he's going to get the DRS.
Yep. Job done by the looks of things. What about Fraser Hart and the Haas? What can he do? So no battery left, but he could maybe... No, he's just going to stay.
Doesn't want to get too involved with this, I think. They go side by side through 9. Keep it nice and clean. Bayard manages to fend Lucas off.
Such a nice POV from Fraser's side there. Speaking of POVs, Dino's got a nice one as well of Theo Smith and George Parr. Nose to tail at the moment.
Yeah, Dino, the lead medium runner, so really wants to be ahead of these guys.
Iron's buggered off.
Oh, Iron's left again. So it is like last season, apart from Johnny's not on his wheel yet, so Iron's leaving. Johnny had to race controller or old wheel, I think. As Lucas Bauschka's binned it.
No.
That's a full safety car. Bauschka has binned it,
No.
binned it out of the last corner. That car is in pieces.
Oh,
So that's going to
bails out the medium runners, I'd say.
liven this one a little bit more.
I'd say bails them out. Oh, Purple Man had just pitted for fresh mediums.
Yeah, but he is going to be able to make up some time here through everyone else pitting, and then get on the back.
He'll rejoin, yeah. He won't gain any places, but imagine if he'd stuck it out for an extra lap, he would have been fully bailed out. He'd still have to make another stop, I think.
Well, you could do hards.
Yeah, I was thinking, will mediums go to the end? I doubt it. Not comfortably.
Fine, Johnny. Johnny is currently not in the session.
It's not ideal. It's P15 though. Yes, Purple Man, you can pass the safety car, you're not the lead car.
Can't find him in my friends list, but I may have just become blind, which is also a definite possibility with me.
100%. It's a shame for Ryan, he just pulled away from Grad. Grad getting a bit of a payout here from the safety car. Ran out of battery to keep up with Iron, or chose to not deploy it as much and just consolidate the P2. They had a very healthy lead over the chasing pack as well. Luke snuck it into the pits. So he'll be trying to get these mediums to the end.
Get mediums to the end from here, it's going to be mega to make the stop under safety car. There he is. He's appearing offline. That makes sense.
Well, Luke will go all the way down to behind, I want to say, Coates and the Red Bull here.
Well, Quill's in the pits as well, so that is going to give Luke that.
Oh my god, I see Coates' little dot on the track map. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, Hugo and Will do go through, but Luke is going to be lead pitted driver.
These two very much drivers to watch out for now.
Yeah,
How
I mean, if
quickly can they
Luke
navigate
and
the
Quill
pack?
can keep these mediums alive for 19 laps, I know Quill is very, very good when it comes to tyre management.
I'm not worried about Quill at all.
Luke can channel some of his inner Quill and get 19 laps on these.
So
And,
he won.
they are going to be in pole position, although we are going to see the guys at the front chasing them down at the end of the race.
I think the only part that would bother Luke about that is having to have an inner Quill.
I think we may have just had a mass DC.
Quill was ghosted for a period of time, but they're back.
We've just had a mass DC.
Oh, Potter's car's done the thing.
This might need to red flag since we just had 5 people.
Yeah. It's looking that way.
Yeah, I'm going to red flag it now.
Yeah, Fraser's not here. I mean, Potter's clearly DC'd entirely. Purple Man's gone, Coates gone, Johnny's gone.
Yep.
There's the red flag. Unfortunately, yeah, Luke's retired, so he'd be willing to pull that red flag as well.
Yeah, Luke has obviously seen my my message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewind on the stream.
See when it all happened.
Well, we would go back to the moment the safety car was called, the start of that lap, as the fairest way to do it. So it is extra unfortunate. Okay, so it was lap 9? Yeah, that is when the safety car comes out, I believe. Yeah, that's when the safety car comes out. So this is going to be our starting order.
Well.
Let me just double check what I said in the rulebook.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I can't remember. So lap 8 of 29 is about 30%. It's more than 25, but less than 50.
Yeah,
So,
30%.
Section 9, red flags and restarts. Section 9, red flags and restarts. 26 to 50% race distance will be a 100% sprint race.
Oh, ho, ho. We're in for a treat.
Yes.
Oh, this will be fun.
Yeah, and there is a new rule for this season, as red flags were overly beneficial to drivers who had chosen to start on the hard tyres. So anybody who started on mediums has to go on hards.
Right. Oh, so they... Oh, I see. So does that make everyone start on the same compounded tyre, or...?
No, so
Does
if
it force
we
the
just
swap?
take the so it forces the swap, similar to a red flag in real F1, where you can use it to make your mandatory pit stop, but you still need to use 2 compounds. So I and Bill Bass, Thomas Crowd, Luke Mills, etc., the guys that were on the hard tyres, they can take mediums for the sprints, and that's absolutely fine. Someone like Dino Pushkadia that started on the medium tyres, Fraser Hart that started on the mediums, they have to use hard tyres or soft tyres.
I see. I'm just going to get anything from the race director that may be important. But I'd imagine most of it would just be... yeah, it's just safety car nonsense, ignore me. Game, can I leave, please? Oh, okay. To restart my game. Love it. F122. Can't see... Oh, I can't wait to see the back of it. At all.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to sort this out. People clearly haven't read the rulebook, even though they were told to.
Tell me about it. So only those who pit for damage and the soft runner can have complete free choice of tyres.
So if you've already used two compounds, you have already completed that rule, and you can run whatever. If you had to run, say, intermediates in the first part, you could run whatever because you've already completed that rule. But the 2 tyre compound rule that exists in real F1 and exists in a 50%, a normal league race, still applies. So the tyres you've used before the red flag counts as your first stint of the race. And then similar to what Max Verstappen did at Jeddah in 2021, where he started on the mediums, there was a red flag and he went to hards and then never had to make a pit stop. You have to do that here. You can't start on mediums and then do mediums afterwards, because then you've done a medium strategy, which is not a valid strategy.
wait for our lobby to rebuild and for half of our drivers to get their head around what the rule format is.
So yeah, let's go and jump back in with Hugo. The lobby should be back up. It is.
Here it is indeed. He's probably just going through the driver grid order at the moment. It normally takes about 10 minutes to do.
Yeah, I mean, it generally takes time to get everybody in the lobby. Once everyone's here, it should be fine.
Oh yeah, it's
Quick
getting everyone in to set the
enough
order with people in. You can't preordain
Yeah, exactly. Which is annoying, but makes perfect sense. And then just let me double check. I don't think anybody had any time penalties in that first half. They did not.
No, nothing pre-safety car.
Yeah, exactly. They did not have time penalties, so that means whatever the order in the sprint finishes, that is how the race will finish. Before stewarding, before I get my little notebook out.
Absolutely. I'm just keeping a note of the compounds that people have used.
Yeah, I mean, I've got that all saved anyway.
Perfect, no worries at all. Just so we can make sure everyone...
That is on my telemetry app.
Oh yeah, you and your telemetry app. Good God. Need to get that actually, it sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's good. Especially if a lot of people have telemetry on. We've got a few people. Allows me to deal information on battery and things.
Yeah, I watched the social race back, and you were talking about like wing damage and fuel, and I was like,
yeah, the damage side, the damage side of it is extremely useful because if there's a mass pile up at turn 1, it doesn't generally require a red flag. But if 5 or 6 people have rear wing damage, there's definitely grounds to call a red flag and just restart the race.
Yeah.
And penalise people as necessary for causing carnage.
Exactly. I may as well use this time to see if anyone has accepted my request for friendship on Steam. So if they have, then congratulations, you get a shiny new nickname for the second half of the stream. Bayo hasn't. I'm not hurt at all. Fraser Hart. Nope, he hasn't. I'm acting like these guys haven't just been racing.
Yeah.
We'll leave it. It's fine. Good. Alright. I'm going to take the intermission screen off now because I'm notorious for forgetting. We can just chill in the lobby for a bit.
Yep.
Last thing I want to do is commentate an intense lap 1 sprint pile up and then have it not get caught on stream.
Yeah.
We should force our drivers to do the 58 lap race afterwards.
Oh, and hang on, who else made the stop? I've forgotten. Was it Thomas or Justin? Justin retired, so it would be Quentin.
So Quentin stopped, and
but Quentin, I believe, started on hards and went hards again. I want to say.
Quentin was on 4 lap old mediums when the safety car got called out.
Okay, so yeah, so Quentin has free choice as well.
I'll just confirm. Yep, started on hards.
Okay.
So he's got free choice. Purple Man's got free choice. Johnny's got free choice. If he rejoins. Racing on a pad when you're used to a wheel is it's not great. Has Johnny got free choice? He might have started on mediums. No, he started on hards too, so if Johnny rejoins, he's got free choice.
Cool.
Just those three.
So the sprint is 19 laps, so it works out pretty exact, which is nice.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all. They get their fill of league racing for the week.
Yeah, this is the first time we've used these particular red flag rules, so there was always going to be a little bit of a teething phase with them.
Absolutely.
But you gain such an advantage for starting the race on mediums when everyone around you was on hards. You felt it was unfair that after a red flag, which is no one's fault, that you basically can then carry that advantage over into the race afterwards as well. But this is why I tell people to read the rule book.
Yeah, exactly. It makes life a lot easier.
So who are we missing? Are we missing anybody that wasn't retired? So obviously Justin's not here, that's fine. Johnny, I guess he's not coming?
I wouldn't expect him to. Well, we're starting.
Well, let's see if everyone's got the tyres right. Although, I mean, if there's a safety car and people go on softs here, everyone's going to fill that up anyway.
Yeah, true. I think a good portion will actually go softs.
Well,
Who can?
It's ballsy, but it's technically possible.
Oh, I thought it was 17 laps, not 19.
No, it's 19. So you'd have to do 9.5 on a stint, which...
Yeah, that's right.
Again,
Around the 10
possible.
You said could be done.
Yeah, I get
Should
10.
be
And my
done.
time management is generally a few % better than most people. So, we'll have to see.
Cool, will go on softs.
It's going to be Ian versus Thomas again on the start. So
That's
we'll have to see if
another
Ian can fend the Alfa Romeo off again.
He wants to try and romp off at the start. Probably no one. These guys are quite sensible.
Yeah. So of course, the whatever gaps there were don't carry forwards. It's red flag rules in the same way that they work in real Formula 1. So everyone comes back to the pits, can do their mandatory pit stop, hence the tyre requirements. And
Keep posing mechanics.
He forms to a grid and goes again. So that would burn one lap off the distance of the race as well. So with the 8 we completed, plus the burn off lap for a lap behind safety car reforming the grid, that's 9. Plus then the 19 for the sprint is only one short of a regular race. So the percentages work out very well, which is good to see.
Definitely.
Because I did kind of eyeball them.
All I know is if Mitch was here, he'd be on the softs. 100%. And it'd only be 5% by the time he'd finish as well, because he'd be in a wall.
He wouldn't be allowed because Mitch would have already started on softs.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Anyway, we got 5 red lights. And it's go for the sprint in F1. I think Grad has got the... Oh no, he's got the worst start out of the 2. Seeing if everyone gets away nice and cleanly. It's a bit tight at the back. Got a Ivanov going into the back of Potter by the looks of things. Only lightly. It's a Mercedes round. That's Quentin Hesch.
Oh, again.
The Mercedes, not an ideal start at all for him. He's got a few shuffling for position here. Williams
Should be able to get back on the train pretty easily though. Everyone ahead is going to be losing time running so close to traffic.
Bayard going round the outside of Rudd there. Got Pushkadir behind looking for a move on Rudd as well. So maybe a double overtake for Alpine here. This will be good for the team.
You know, on those hard tyres they were having a start of the race.
Oh, he's lunged on his teammate. Bit of tyre banging.
The apex.
Space given to Rudd on the inside.
I think they may have been a little far back going into the braking zone, so I don't really blame
It's a long
Bello
side
for turning
long
in.
enough. Yeah, no, I don't either. He's got a couple of stragglers just off at the start here. They'll be able to catch up in no time as the grid still figures itself out at the end of this first lap.
But yeah, Iron does manage to fend off Thomas yet again off a race start, so good start for the Ferrari driver.
P1, P6 for Ferrari.
Champion. Yeah, George up to P5. So a good run for Ferrari so far. They are looking like they are going to be leading the constructors if it all stays similar to this. And Quill's managed to jump Luke, so is P3.
AWS predicted strategy of a zero stop.
Of course, it's a sprint. Nobody pits in a sprint unless you blow the car up. So Fraser's unfortunately deceived.
Oh, I thought he'd blown the car up.
Yeah, so hopefully Fraser can get back in the lobby quickly. But Iron's going to lead this away, a 6/10 gap back behind, and Quill just about hanging in that 1 second DRS window.
Brad having to spend again just to keep with Iron.
Yeah, but there is going to be a bit of a gap behind Luke to George. George trying to hang on to that DRS. Seems to be running slightly lower downforce, manages to get back in down the first DRS zone. But then loses all that time again in the chicane.
Have to see who's still within 1 second. Come next lap.
It's a full train behind George all the way to the back, apart from Fraser's spooky ghost.
This is how it was last race. There was a big train behind George before they split apart and did what they did.
He is the conductor. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody who has possibly DNF'd but is still in the lobby is able to invite Fraser, but I don't have him added.
Neither do I, unfortunately. I sent an invite out.
I'll just post in the chat that you can join on Hugo.
Yeah, he'll have Hugo added. George is being very conservative by the looks of things. He's not extending corner exits as much as everyone else. Quill's out!
DNF'd. How has that happened? Quill never crashes.
Just a spin.
Yeah, it's full safety car. Just as DRS gets enabled, it's a full safety car. So that means anybody that wants to pit, so those guys on the hards, the two harsh runners, and Dino, if they want to go on mediums now, they can do that.
Oh, Potter definitely pits. Fraser definitely pits. Even if it's a double stack, you just pit.
Yeah, I mean, you could even try the softs from here. With the red flag, obviously all the tyres get reset. There's nothing we can do about that. So they are going to have brand new, shiny, red-walled sets in the garage.
Will anyone like Quentin run the risk?
I think Quentin definitely might do. I don't think Quentin's got anything to lose by pitting here.
No, exactly.
All he's going to do is
outside the top 10 anyway.
Yeah, even if nobody else pits, all it's going to do is put behind Fraser, and you would think softs against hards, he should be able to clear the hards pretty quickly.
Ivanov seems to have most of his success on the softer compounded tyres, so I'd like to think he'll pit as well. There's been a position change under safety car for some reason. Between Nilsson and Russ.
Oh, Hugo. Give it back.
He's led him through. I think there was a like a teleporting car or something. I just saw a car appear.
Yeah,
so
well,
Hugo might have just been waiting until it was safe to let Rudd through.
Yeah, well, Hugo gave it back, so I wonder if Hugo had the illegal overtake warning.
Perhaps. As long as Hugo wasn't formally ahead, and it's done that to him.
Yeah. No penalties for either of them, so that's all good and sorted itself out nicely.
I'll look to challenge Rudd off this restart. Should be able to get a move done.
Everyone choosing to stay out, apart from Quentin, who is diving in the Mercedes. So I think this is going to be soft tyres on that Mercedes, and it is the red-walled rubber out in the pit lane.
We did tell them you don't need to pit under sprint conditions, but you can.
It is worth it. Yeah, that is going to be an arrow. Well, they're called the silver arrows, but I think this is going to be taking it a little literally.
It's going to be a silver bullet.
The car's going to be mega.
Alright, just to see.
Hasn't had the best race in terms of.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Now, I did actually manage to do that. If he pits next lap onto softs and then does it.
Oh, yeah, that was a double pit stop.
Yeah, it's because
I pit double dip.
It's because I pit twice.
Well, safety car's not in this lap, so, you know, you could go again.
Yeah.
May as well.
First lap behind safety car, so...
His tyres will be toasty warm at the end of it as well.
Yeah, the medium runners are going to have a good time of this. There's a little bit of teleporting around from Bayard. So hopefully that hasn't given everyone in front of him illegal overtake warnings. Although it may have done, because they've all just slowed down a lot. See if any penalties pop up. Yeah, so that's one for Dino. I'll have to check some POVs for that because I did see Dino go ahead of Bayode. Before I saw him start teleporting, but we'll take a look. It's probable that's going to get removed, most likely.
Purple Man's got one as well.
That one might not. So that's for a collision under safety car, and they basically never get removed.
He's got front wing damage!
Oh, how has he done that?
I was going to comment on him looking rather racy under safety car, but I thought he just got it all handled, but maybe not.
The app doesn't say he's got front wing damage, but there is
there's
definitely
front wing damage.
there is most definitely a missing end play, and that is going to be the Aston
Quentin's
Martin
back in!
Quentin's following him in. Can Quentin make it through the pits twice in 2 laps?
His brain is huge. Or maybe our brains are huge and we're calling the correct strategy. He's gone under another set of softs. We're all large
Disconnect
brain.
for Lucas, but it's under safety car, so won't cost him anything. And he's back
jumped
in.
the Aston Martin. He must have... Big brain realised that he had damage as well. Alright. The ultimate test of skill.
Yeah, more soft tyres on that Mercedes. Just on some as toasty as possible, I guess. And it makes it
Oi,
through. It has a big slide, though. See, it's not just me. Might have picked up a warning on the exit as well. But if F1 drivers are doing that, I think I'm allowed.
Fine. I mean, Quentin, you had one job. So basically already
Make
on the
me
back of
look
these
shit.
guys.
Yeah, you had one job to make me look shit, and you've failed to do it.
God damn it. Right, so
We are going to be in this lap. That
Purple Man has gone on to mediums.
It's probably going to be a late call.
Rather interesting. So the softs will probably have the advantage for probably at least the first 12 laps, and they
you would
get
think
going.
so. It's,
Only 14 to go.
Being a 100% sprint, it is 100% distance tyre wear. So the tyres should last twice as long as they were doing in the first race.
Yeah, I'd say a standard soft crossover is about 5 or 6 laps. These mediums are a bit worn. Double it and add 1. It's about 12 laps.
Yeah.
I think the crossover's more like lap 3 or something. The softs just wear so quick and tyre wear is literally impossible.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, that's fine.
Quill's,
well done. What did you do?
Quill's been medically checked.
Is that when you're 1.05 seconds behind and DRS gets enabled that lap, you need to take a few risks.
Can't help but notice that you are no longer 1.05 seconds behind.
One risk too many. Yeah, as Iron's going to back
It's unfortunate, that's for sure. It's worth trying, though.
He's
So
going to
Iron's
go
gone.
into the left corner. But Thomas has read that really well, and he's come with him in the Alfa Romeo.
Very good restart from Thomas.
Yeah. This might be looking for a move into the chicane. I don't think the Alfa Romeo is dumb enough to go anywhere else as he takes the Kyle Mack
He
line.
did the thing!
It seems to have lost a bit of time to Iron doing it, so probably a lift in there from Grad.
Now I need to get a lesson from the best teacher there is.
Oh, we've got a Haas around, which is Matt, and he's lost a front wing.
That's not
So that's
looking
unfortunate.
very
He's going
healthy.
to drop him all the way off the back of this train. We'll be hoping for another safety car to put him back in contention.
Is Luke... Oh no. That camera angle made Luke look basically inside of the Alfa Romeo, but he was like 4 tenths behind.
Big gap opening behind him, so I think George has made a mistake on that safety car restart, or has done it intentionally to give Iron a bit of breathing room.
Perhaps. Ferrari
The gap now,
tactics.
1.8 from George up to Luke. If George can maybe back everyone up a bit, do a bit of Sergio Perez. Through
Oh, he
sector 3.
definitely is.
Oh,
He's
there's
not
chaos
that slow
behind
on
him.
the straight.
He's chaos behind him though, as
I'm going to get his telemetry up.
Lucas manages to hold off Hugo through turn 9.
This would be an absolute work of heroism by George if that is what he's doing. He was losing time on the straight, and we know he's running quite a low downforce setup. Or at least
Well, the
that's what
gap's
we've
just
seen.
gone to 2.3, so he's lost about 6 tenths in the third sector.
Yeah,
already.
he lost 2 before the braking zone of the second DRS straight.
Yeah, George is chilling here. He's like, yeah,
Big
whatever.
chilling. The train conductor once again doesn't mind at all.
Thinking Ian can handle the rest of the front 3 and is happy to just relax in P4
And
as
his
well.
back 3 that dropped off are going to catch back up.
Yeah, going to be some pressure from Theo Smith though, and possibly Dino on those hard tyres in the last few laps if the mediums start getting a little bit past their best.
I think George is happy with the gap that he's left now, and he is just going to focus on maintaining track positions because he has dropped off the back of Theo Smith a little bit there, choosing to prioritise track position over faster tyres, but he's going to be under pressure. Good job DRS isn't enabled this lap, otherwise he'll have 3 cars on the back of him there, as Lucas Rudd very nearly going into the back of Dino.
Yeah, Hugo makes a move on Bayo Bolo down into the chicane. Puts his Red Bull up into P8. So we've got a nice 4-car train of blue cars.
Nice to see the lead Red Bull driver up into P8.
Yeah, the only competent Red Bull driver.
The first Red Bull driver. His front 3 have gone. And I wasn't looking at George's telemetry in the straights.
Thanks, George. Yeah, as Quentin's managed to clear Fraser and Ryan, so has made his way up to P11 and he's looking to get on the back of Martin Ivanov.
Oh,
in that,
so much grip. Getting 3/10 in that horrible double left-hander alone. He's within the DRS range of Ivanov.
But now it's going to come down to how well can he clear this train, and will he manage to
so
do that with all the tyres drop off? Because I mean, this is DRS all the way up to Dino in P6. He's starting to become a little bit of a bottleneck of his own on those hard tyres.
And there's also the issue of battery in that Mercedes, because right now it's at 40%, and he's using a bit to close up, which doesn't really make sense because the softs will allow you to close up, and you need every last drop of battery to do the overtakes.
And Ivanov is just going to deploy the cover.
To do them on the brakes, maybe thinking he's running at lower downforce than those ahead of him. Or hoping they all
here. Double move on Dino here. Dino braking very late there. Bayo looking for a move.
Contact. Dino's gone round. I think that might have been a little bit of a tap with Hugo. And that's going to drop Dino down to P13. And we're going to see Hugo and Quentin going side by side now into turn 9.
There might have been some involvement from Bayo there because Hugo's car just jumped from that rear left side.
And Ivanov makes the move on Bayo. I wonder if he's carrying some damage in that Alpine, as Hugo's going to make a move as well.
That'll be telling if he is.
In turn 9.
I think there is damage on that Alpine.
Quentin goes around the outside into 12, super late on the brakes, and manages to get the Mercedes stopped in time for the apex.
Thrilling stuff.
There.
Looking at Theo Smith on the back of George.
Advantage. Yeah, using the grip advantage with those soft tyres to good use. Can he find a way past Hugo next?
How much time Bayard's lost? I think there is damage on that Alpine. It's unfortunate because it caused an incident with his teammate Dino down to P13 because of that little tap.
Not missing any parts on the front wing.
That's a yellow. The yellow jobby.
Seems to be pretty intact. As Quentin's possibly going to look for a move into turn 5. Mercedes on Red Bull into 5.
Woo!
Makes the move.
The worlds collide and the roles reverse.
Hugo saw him coming.
And crucially, Quentin has DRS, not Hugo.
Yeah,
George is so quick in a straight line.
Well, he wasn't 2 laps ago.
Oh. Sergio Perez driving for Ferrari.
From Matt at the back on those soft tyres. But it's going to be an almighty job to gain 32 seconds in 10 laps, especially if he keeps spinning at turn 2.
George is just coasting.
Yeah, George is chilling here. I mean, he's got the gap in front of him up to 6 seconds, and nobody's been able to find their way past yet.
I'm talking about after the race, you were like, man, I was pushing so hard. We were like, ah.
We've just been shit-talking him for 4 laps.
Sorry, George.
As the front 3 have kind of left. Thomas starting to drop out of Iron's DRS and has spent a lot of battery. Luke spent quite a lot as well, trying to hang with the pace of the leader out front in his Ferrari.
Both Ferraris are chilling.
Iron's mega around here. This is like assault and battery. Do we have an F0 we can put Iron in, like just on his own?
Iron might consider dropping these guys out of DRS soon as well, depending on the
gap. He's got the battery to spend.
I mean, Iron's quick, but he didn't feel particularly quick today.
His time trial is 90th in the world.
Yeah, but he's quick at other tracks as well. I feel like if I didn't bin it, I would have been able to keep in DRS. And that's why I was pushing so hard. If I knew Iron was a lot quicker, I would have been fighting Luke right now. About halfway between where they are now and where George is, but...
Yeah, Iron has just about managed to get Thomas out of his DRS. But
Quentin Hesh on Lucas Rudd.
The DRS closes him back
round the outside. Well, no, Rudd's just going to slot him behind. Fair enough. Doesn't want to lose any time to him.
Lucas just hanging on to his battery, looking to make some places up towards the end of the race. Still in
Got
this
such a cool head behind the
gaggle of
wheel,
cars.
this Lucas.
Luke and Thomas are side by side. And Luke backs out into the penultimate corner.
Well, Luke's been on comms for a 3 wide through there and knows how it ends, so doesn't want to do a 2
Well, it was
wide
only
and
2
shut
wide.
himself.
First track limit penalty.
Oh, he had to get 1. I mean, I think we'd done about 8 laps and Lassie had 2 yesterday, so...
Okay. Nice to see the McLaren within track
I think
limits.
Iron's got this race unless there's a late
bolted.
safety car.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
Bolted. So Luke challenging Thomas has just allowed Iron to pull out another 1.5 seconds.
I didn't even notice how much time that had bought.
Insurmountable.
Head on.
Quentin's down the inside on Martin into 5.
Oh!
Big snap, and that's a big crash. It's Martin out of the race. Quentin's got no front wing again.
And that's a safety
And that
car.
is a safety car.
Oh, Quentin is he's not happy.
Who's coming in for softs?
Everyone.
We'll have to see who's the first guy to take a gamble, because you're going to lose a hell of a lot of track position.
Oh no! If I was someone like Theo Smith and I was seeing the leaders pit, I'm staying out.
Yeah, I think Theo just has to do the opposite of what the front 3 do, and hope the front 3 don't split. I think Thomas and Luke are probably just going to follow whatever Iron does.
I've got a nose cam of Quentin's Mercedes, so there's just like a tiny shred of front wing left. So technically, he's got one.
That's all you need.
It's got the
Although
bit
I
that
think
mounts
if
the
you're
rest of the
Luke
wing.
or Thomas, you're going to want to do the opposite of Iron, because that's the only way you're getting the win.
If pace is
possibly.
proving not to work, then...
Iron's in.
Oh, he
No.
faked it!
Oh. I
But-
wonder if Thomas was already planning to pit, or if he fell for the fake by Iron. Luke almost fell for it as well, but just managed to avoid crossing that white line on pit
If he
entry.
actually fell for it, that is amazing.
I'm surprised that no one further back is boxing.
I'm a bit surprised as well,
Bayod's in, and the back 2.
to be fair.
Dino and Quentin, but Quentin kind of had to pit because he has no front wing.
Grad's going to come out in P9 though, that's...
But the tyre advantage is enormous.
I know the tyre advantage is mega.
The problem he's
And
going to
it
have,
can
though, is...
probably clear maximum of 2 cars per lap. It's
Yeah,
just
the
where
problem he's
they're
gonna have
quick
is
is just no way to
you're
get through.
gonna lose time in Sector 3, because making overtakes in there is sketch, to say the least. And if you don't make up enough places before DRS opens, then you're just gonna stuck in a train. And the tyres don't do all that much for you while you're in a train. They're useful, but they're not, like, overpowered.
I think the bigger threat is that Iron and Luke pull out a 5-second gap in 2 laps.
Also possible, although Theo's jumped George Parr somehow.
I reckon there will be a scrap for the podium.
Wonder how that's happened. How is Theo now ahead of George?
Skill.
Interesting. That might be a report I have to look at later on. So yeah, top 8 have all stayed out. Everyone back from that. So Thomas down have all put new softs on. This could get a bit dicey, like F2 did yesterday.
Oh, it's always fun.
3 laps from the end in P10 to win the race. Let's see if that happens again.
It's going to be 6 laps today. Or maybe 5 if the safety car stays out for a third.
Yeah, it was a similar length of time yesterday. I think it might have been about 8 in total. But Sky was P10 with 3 laps to go and won the race. Between everything kicking off in front of him. So let's see if the same happens here.
Hugo's found.
Oh dear. Oh, the safety car. This will be Hugo into the box, I think. Yeah, might as well put some softs on since you're already at the back.
So I just had a look at the replay of Ivanov versus Hetch, and unfortunately Ivanov dropped it on the exit curve.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit. Quentin was sort of running him wide a little, but all fair, leaving a car width. And I think Martin just had a snap and unfortunately collected the Mercedes and DNF'd himself.
That curb is one of
oh my
the
god,
curbs
the
that's
deepest
50-50 as to whether you take. Like, there are some curbs that to go quick you must take. This is one of those that you maybe take depending on your setup.
Yeah, like
you-
it's in 2 parts. So if you're on the first part of that curb, you are absolutely fine because it's more or less flat, and then it kind of has a step in the middle. If your tire hits that step while you're trying to get some power down, it's just going to spear you out.
Yeah, I don't
which,
have a good
I think
track
is
record with
probably
those
what
sorts of
happened
curbs.
to Martin. Yeah, they do tend to be a little bit sus at times, especially when it's the rear tyre that clips because it is wider than the front.
Mm.
And
Many a DNF have come from those sorts of curbs where I've just overstepped it a bit and got wedged on that little step, as you mentioned. Especially the steeper ones, like Austria's got some steep ones.
I think we need to shout out Ryan Potter in the Aston Martin as well. Just kept it clean, apart from that 3-second track limit penalty he's got, and has found himself in P6.
Right, there's 2 Potters.
There are 2 Potters.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I was looking at the Haas thinking, there's no penalty there and he's last.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so Purple Man in the Alfa Romeo.
Yes.
Sorry, in the Aston
Alfa
Martin.
Romeo.
I'm looking back at the video of Ivanov's crash, and there definitely was contact, because Ivanov was only using the first part of the car, and there was a sudden jolt.
You might have just dropped the rear.
I'll have to,
there was definite contact from what I can see.
Take a look from both POVs. I know Martin's not happy with Quentin, so we'll have to see. We are going to have one more lap of safety car here. So it's going to be starting
I reckon this Haas is
round.
going to box. No, he's not. Just seems so conservative pace-wise.
Well, it's going to be one more lap of this, and then we're going to have what's this going to be? A 5-lap dash of craziness. It's kind of going to come down to how fast the likes of Thomas Grad and Bayo Bello and Quentin Hersch, of course, can clear some of these old tyre runners.
I'm not.
And then Quentin also has the penalty factor, because having looked at it myself, I don't see a way that Quentin doesn't get a penalty for that crash.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to make any assumptions based on that. As far as it's going right now, the only penalty is Ryan Potter's, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with stewarding afterwards. And have a quick check as well, make sure everyone ran the right tyres. Although I'm pretty sure they did. And yeah, safety car is going to be coming in this lap, so going to be Ian backing it up. Going to see if he can maybe get a better jump this time on Luke than what he got on Thomas the last time.
Go on board with Theo Smith for this restart, I think, who's
side by side with George.
No.
Although periodically, that's okay. You're just not allowed to run side by side with someone.
It's going to be an almighty scrap for this final spot on the podium. Okay, cool. Yeah, I see what you mean with that on board. But we will see what happens post stewarding. As for now, we're on board with Theo Smith in the AlphaTauri. Just going to see if Luke can get as good of a restart. Oh, Ian's gone early, but Luke has called it.
Very early.
Theo's been caught napping.
Yeah, Luke saw that coming. There's an 8/10 gap back to Theo, though, and he's going to be coming under some pretty hefty pressure. All these guys behind on the warm tyres as well. They don't want to be anywhere near the guys on fresh softs, so they're going to be trying to find a way past the AlphaTauri.
They just went very defensive against Thomas, and
Grab
Thomas
on
just
Hart,
swooped
Grab
straight
through.
round the outside.
These guys behind are all going to be on Theo Smith like vultures in the Serengeti.
So much grip on those soft tyres.
I'm looking at Bayode.
Oh,
Oh my
deep
god,
goes
it's a
wide.
Haswich.
That's a full max send. And Quentin's gone around the outside as well, and is going to get the move on Bayo too.
Oh my
Gonna be side by side down this
lord.
straight. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes?
Grat's
as they
pooing
head
himself at the
into the
moment looking
chicane.
at this behind. So he's on board. It's an absolute lunge from Dino, and it's worked beautifully down the outside as the Hasses have collided. Oh, Potter nearly got spun.
He's still going, and he's still somewhat attached to the train.
Let's go,
He's going to
Bayode.
be looking to make up some places as well.
Switch back on Hesh perhaps here. He's down the inside of the Mercedes.
It's a nice move if he can make it work.
Neither driver
But
backing out
Quentin's
at the
gonna have
moment.
The inside line
Oh,
for
he's
12.
Oh, he's kept it pinned. That was committed. He's won the place because of it.
Quentin breaks so late and just doesn't give Bayo the option to turn in.
It's like not even a lockup. It's nothing.
Yeah. So now it's going to be the new bottleneck of Ryan Potter. Thomas has already managed to make that move up for P6, as Ian and Luke have built a 1.8-second gap over Theo Smith. This might be Quentin for a move into turn 1 down the inside.
I don't think.
Thomas forced Lucas deep. Lucas tried to brake late, but just went wide in turn 1, and that has allowed Thomas to get through up into P5. And there's only 2 cars separating Thomas from the leaders.
Yeah, but there's that 2-second gap once he manages to clear Theo Smith.
He's got to consolidate Luke to get back to where he was.
Yeah, he's going to need to do it quick if he wants to close that up.
4 positions in 4 laps. Is that doable?
In clear air in Sector 3 it is.
First 2, I think, shouldn't be too much of trouble for him. I think it's going to be bridging that 2-second gap without dumping what's left of his battery.
Potter in the Aston Martin. Dino right on the back of him too. Unfortunately, the Aston is just dropping like a stone.
That's old tyres for you. As George, with plenty of straight line speed, manages to stay ahead of Thomas on the run into turn 9. But Thomas is just going to be able to carry so much more speed through there. Deploys a bit of battery. He's going to try it around the outside into 12.
Oh, contact!
Whoa! Is that George Round?
George Round.
It's George Round and in a
wall. And that's a reset to track.
In traffic. That's not good.
George.
I understand why you did it, but
probably a bit hot under the
ideal.
Under the visor there, but
yeah.
Nonetheless,
Thomas is going to get DRS from Susie or Theo Smith.
Yeah, very quickly going to get that DRS, but that is now a 2.8-second gap up to the front too. Luke is dumping all of his battery to try and
2.8 seconds and 2.8 laps. This is tight, and the tie advantage should be about 1 second a lap.
It's going to be a case of can Thomas get the DRS on that last lap, and will Ian be able to break Luke out of his?
Well, I've just had a look, and I was hoping Luke wouldn't be deploying battery for his life to stick with Ian, but he has done.
Luke is tapped. He's down to 5%. Ian's still sitting pretty on 50.
Grad's tapped as well, though. That's the thing. Grad will maybe send a move into the sweepy, wonky
I think it's going to be a move into turn 9. I think Theo's going to be a little bit vulnerable here with no DRS.
Theo really wants Almos's podium. I just don't see it
chaos
happening.
Going on behind. Quentin's up to P5, makes the move on Lucas Rudd, and that's going to compromise Lucas. And here comes Dino, and he's going to make 2 moves in 1 corner.
I'm just having a look. It's hard to keep an eye on both things at the moment there. Grad does get the move on Theo Smith.
Quentin manages to fend him off.
Oh, that's why. Round. Don't tell me this is Grad just pushing people round.
I hope not.
Dino gets a 3-second penalty. This helicam, and they look like little Hot Wheels down there.
So that is going to put Quentin P4, but the 4-second gap up to Thomas, that's not going to be catchable. And then 2.9 from Thomas to Luke before he can even hope to make a move. Just 2 laps left to go here.
I don't know if Grad's going to be safe.
I think this front 2 is pretty solid. Yeah, Grad, possible penalties coming in, so needs to
just 2 spins is a bit coincidental. A bit too coincidental for me, as Theo Smith unfortunately spun on the final corner exit. It's down to last place. Luke's still remarkably in Iron's DRS. Iron isn't spending for his life.
Yeah, Iron just kind of chilling in case somebody turns up and decides to make a race of this. Iron's just kind of chilling on about 40%. Luke down to 3. So Thomas will be able to see that light flashing ahead. It would be like a red light to a bull and trying to charge, even though he's not in a Red Bull.
We've
got DNF.
Par and Bayode.
That's on a straight, and that's
hell has happened there?
Flying across the track.
Jesus.
They're both binned out in the straight, so thankfully we're not on sim damage.
Fraser didn't think he'd be getting points on his hard tyres.
There you go. Paths to the end will sometimes work.
Johnny should have kept racing, he might have got a point.
That gap is staying at 2.9. So Thomas, I think, has used the best of those softs. And,
He's
just
been
the DRS.
punishing them. And
yeah, just the DRS is
potentially other areas of his car.
Well, gains a few tenths through the final sector, but it's not going to be enough to get on the DRS. So this is going to come down to.
Well, he's lost it now, hasn't he?
Oh dear.
Yeah,
and that's going to give Quentin P3. Quentin from absolutely nowhere at about 19 pit stops.
Although depending on penalties.
I was going to say, if Grad knows he's got a looming penalty over his head as well, he's not going to like the idea of a P9
I'm pretty sure Quentin's got a penalty, so does that mean Hugo gets a podium?
Oh yeah, with Dino with the time penalty, Hugo could be in a potential podium range.
Yeah, this is going to be nuts.
The plot
Hugo
thickens.
before the race was saying if he can get in the top 5, he'll count it as a great success. So I'm not even sure what he'd class a
Dino
podium
really
as.
trying to break the toe there from Hugo. Maybe Dino could get a penalty removed. There have been a lot of midfield fighting.
Yeah,
Let's
if he's
not
been
rule
pushed
that
off,
out.
if he's got exactly 3 warnings and been pushed off track for one of them, that would get his 3 seconds removed. So it is in Dino's interest here to fight for this. This could be a podium for our reserve driver.
Let's not forget, Hesh might not even get a penalty. It depends how it's stewarded.
Well,
It could be a possible anyone on the podium.
There's a nice big group.
Dino and
Hugo's
Hugo.
going to try it around the outside of Dino in 9.
Dino
I think Hugo's
really
got the
not.
position.
Dino didn't want to
Hugo with a
tap
great
Hugo there.
move.
That was fantastic.
Dino playing it smart. I think Dino feels he is going to get this penalty removed and just doesn't want to bin off a almost guaranteed 4th place at the very least. As
Iron takes the flag.
Did dump some battery on that last lap, pulled 1.8 seconds out to Luke. Quentin's going to come across for P3 in the Mercedes, despite 19.
Oh!
He didn't make
Just
the
back
line.
it up,
He's
reverse!
Hugo takes P4. Lucas Rudd, F3 champion last season, started on mediums, went the whole way on medium tyres in the sprint, gets P5.
I'm sorry, I've
Ahead
just...
of Thomas Grad.
I've never seen
Matt
someone
Potter
reverse
takes-
over the line in a league race because it's quicker.
Yeah, Matt Potter takes P7 for Haas. Dino finally reversed over the line in P8.
I know I laughed hysterically, but I do genuinely feel bad for him. That's a heart in your mouth moment right there.
P9 for Aston Martin and Fraser P10 for Haas, the final points paying position. Ray, what a round this has been. Crazy. Can we just start every season with Abu Dhabi because it's mental?
Imagine if Dino had spun out 5 meters further to the line.
Yeah, if he'd spun over the line, he'd be fine. Oh, my race director bugged, so
I've got it on stream, don't worry.
Oh, that's alright.
Oh, yeah, what a race.
Have you got the sprint results?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have them.
Yeah, just some context with the Hesh Ivanov incident. Ivanov DNF lap 11. Hesh lap 11. Warning for collision with Ivanov.
The game does like to give weird warnings sometimes, though.
Oh yeah.
That was definite contact.
Well then. That's another clip for the shorts. Maybe, Mitch, maybe. You ever seen someone reverse over the line because it will make you finish quicker? I doubt it.
I've seen that often.
Good grief. Should we get some interviews done?
Oh, we can do. So we would need a Luke and Ian and a Quentin, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do some pings.
I didn't think it would be that chaos. As oh, George isn't happy.
Yeah.
Potter and the Haas, 8 points in the end, after getting half spun by his teammate.
Yeah, that was a pretty mental race as we say hello to P2 finisher Luke Mills. So, what was your view on all of that, Luke?
Honestly, my strategy was deploy everything to stay with Aryan. I'm not going to beat him. P2's fantastic. That was literally my whole strategy.
Well, we did mention that a couple of laps left to go. You were down to about 6%, and Iron's just sitting pretty on 50. So
Yeah, I literally didn't care what he had. It was just about I just want to stay with him because I just need to get away before the guys charging on softs come through. But I knew Aryan's pace was good enough to make it, so they wouldn't be able to catch you in time. So yeah, and I think Thomas had a spin as well, which made it so I was definitely safe.
yeah, on the end of the second last lap, I believe it was, he had a little oops, which Dino had on the last lap as well, and had to reverse over the line. So that's fun.
Ah.
And it was quicker for him to reverse over the line than to turn around and finish, because he's about 2 feet from the line.
Yeah. Just threw it in reverse and went.
I feel bad for laughing, but yeah.
Oh, I don't.
I
It's Dino,
howled.
it's fine.
I absolutely
He'll
howled.
It's Dino, we'll understand.
Christ.
So, Iron, how was that race from for you? Just out in front the whole time, never any troubles, just chilling.
Well, it looked easy, but it wasn't. Every time when I was out of the DRS, safety car came out again. So there was not really a stage where I could say, okay, now I can just chill and drive.
No,
Yeah.
we saw you
Good
slowly
race.
just eke out the battery advantage on Grad in P2, and then right as you eclipse him, because I think him and Luke got into a Sector 3 scrap, boom, safety car. Unfortunate. You
Yeah.
brought it home anyway. Definitely looked like
Good
you
race.
had very good pace out there.
That's the first one in.
First one in.
Yeah.
Of 12, yeah? Or 13. Getting
Well,
there.
however many wins Iron had last season, that
Well,
plus one.
It's going to be hard to win every race because Jeddah exists and
Oh yeah,
Hello.
you got to deal with it, Jeddah. the Jeddah merchant himself.
Hugo's
Okay.
joining
We've,
us as well. Get him
Okay,
on.
cool. Yeah, but as a league owner, Luke, you've been part of or witnessed all three of our opening races at Abu Dhabi. How would you rate it as an opening round?
But I have a feeling from my perspective, it's about, just a solid 6 out of 10 in terms of action, or 5 out of 10. I didn't really have much going on around me. It's just people found their own disasters, and then I assume the race was probably like a 9 out of 10 from the commentary perspective, based on what I was looking at on the
It
minimap. And that's just,
It definitely peaked right at the end when Dino spun. I can't
Yeah,
lie.
so think
I
Yeah, I
can't
had it in my
lie.
rear view.
think
That was
F2 yesterday with the carnage and chaos that ensued after the late safety car. You basically had the same thing.
yeah, I saw like one of the times I saw P3, no, not P3, P4 and 5. I saw Susie in third, randomly dropped. I see Quentin Hesh to fifth, then to fourth, then completely off, and Dino and Hugo in there. Then Lucas Rudd was there. I was like, what's going on? That was in the space of about 10 seconds. I literally couldn't keep up. Like, I'm just looking at it in the top corner, while still trying to keep up with Aryan, just
Well,
so I can.
I was
Yeah.
in this, so I can maybe give my point of view from how all of this panned out. So, really what happened was I had an incident, let's say, on the safety car. Hopefully that wasn't on stream.
Yes, it was.
And well, that was embarrassing. I was trying to burn my fuel in the penultimate corner and bit it into the wall. Had to box. I went from like P6 to P12. Did what I might say myself an overtaking masterclass. It was obviously helped by a lot of people spinning themselves and people dying, essentially. But I just ended up there, battled a few people like Lucas, Dino, and all of a sudden I looked up and I was P4. So that was, pretty much that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if David caught it on stream. I saw your move around the outside of turn 9 on. I think that was on Lucas, which was.
No, it was Dino on the last lap, I think, wasn't it?
I think I caught most of it. I was having to juggle the POV of two different
everyone.
fights at that point.
Yeah, you know the free triple apex right, like before you
Yeah.
come into the hotel section. Yeah, I got 3 round outside moves there.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we saw a couple of those. I can't remember who it was on, but Quentin made a move down there when he was on shiny soft tires, just braking so late.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
crazy. You didn't even lock
Unbelievable
up.
that he got it stopped. Yeah, it was on Bayard, I think, and he braked so late. I managed to somehow get it back to the apex. It was a bit mental. I mean, you hear F2 drivers say when they first get in an F1 car, the brakes are like crashing into a wall, and it looked like he crashed into a wall to make the apex. The car just stopped.
Yeah, it was like that outside line. It's, in my opinion, more beneficial, really, than the inside line if you want to do round outside, because you have a bit more of, like, maneuver room.
I can
so to
agree with
say.
that after.
Because if you get up in that inside curve, you're pretty much done.
Yeah, that
So
killed me in the
yeah,
F2
yeah,
race.
that.
Yeah, but if you got the outside curve, it can do the same thing. So it's a tricky corner to go side by side.
Yeah.
But well, it is F1, so we expect people to be good at driving and knowing what they're doing. But you picked the track when we had our admin calendar build, Hugo. So
Yeah.
how would you rate our round 1 experience of Abu Dhabi?
Well, I absolutely love the track, I have to say, but this that like meter board in turn 1 is my biggest enemy.
That should be attached to the wall.
Shit.
100%.
It's so stupid. I don't know how it is in real life, but in real life you don't mount curbs on entry, so...
Pretty
I don't
sure
know.
in real life it's attached to the wall in the same way that marker boards at Jeddah are.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
don't know,
a
but
very-
it's from my perspective was a very much up and down race. Like I spin on the first lap after getting the best start in my life. I was past Dino who started in front of me before turn 1, but then we were like 3 wide, so I had to back out. Spun after the chicane, then crashed on the safety car. I had a lot of the things you don't want in a race, and yet I finished P4, so it was one of the most eventful ones I've had this far in my very short league racing career.
It was it was pretty mental.
It
I have
was.
to say.
And I absolutely look forward to watching this over again.
Oh, it's a crack.
Yeah.
Well, plenty more. where
Well,
that
how was
came
it for
from.
you guys in the commentator move?
Oh, it just kept getting better.
Chaos.
Ah, great.
Just kept getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
And we did say it was going to be a bit tasty when we saw it was going to be a full-length sprint, and yeah, people did not fail to deliver on that one. Yeah, definitely make sure to rewatch this one. It's an absolute cracking
yeah.
race.
So yeah, if you have nothing to do this week, make sure you make sure you watch back F2 and F1 because they were both like clapped. The races are crazy. But we will be back for round 2 next week, which is at the Sakir International Circuit in Bahrain. So we're staying in the Middle East. We're staying in night races. It opened the season last year with some chaos and a sprint race, but it's not a sprint this time, just a race. So make sure you join us next week, Monday for F3, Tuesday for F2, Wednesday for F1, all at 7 PM GMT. That is UK time to our foreign viewers. And I think we're going to sign you out of week 1 of season 4 there, because it was... well, I need to lie down.
It's great to be back.
It is
Final
great to be
words. Yeah.
Final words. Cool. Well, on that note, I'll end the stream. See you guys next week.